Alright. Maybe. Maybe I got it. Hello, y'all. Happy Monday as our month is about to close out on us, I believe. So, alright, y'all got me again. Still doing my little daily, nightly thing on the Holy Week. So, uh, I guess I'm just going to kind of jump in on here and we'll see how it goes. I've actually got more notes this time. I was able to get them all typed up at school today and get them printed out for me. So I like that. So makes it easier for me. Uh, I just kind of reiterate a few things. Every step that Jesus took during the Holy Week, it was soaked in a purpose. It was soaked in His love, and it was an eternal promise. I pray that everyone that's listening to these, that are reading these, that you're reflecting not only what happened to him, but also what that included, what he did for us. Uh, Through everything and every emotion that he endured, there was a fierce, unshakable commitment to obey God. To obey His Father, our Father, and to rescue the ones that He loved, which is us. So, just kind of a reminder of that. Yesterday was Palm Sunday, and today I everything I've found, I just call it Holy Monday. It was just kind of the next day. The things that happened, and uh, you can find these. You can find parts of this story, and I'm going to be reading out of Matthew chapter 21 again. It'll be verses 12 through 22. Uh, you can also find them in Mark chapter 11, somewhere in the vicinity of verses 12 through 24, give or take. And then Luke chapter 19, verses 45 through 48. And in Matthew, it talks about him cleansing the temple first and then cursing the fig tree. In Mark, he curses the fig tree first and then cleanses the temple. So I'm assuming they happened on the same day. And so it was just kind of, like I said yesterday, one person giving you the account of it, somebody giving you the account of it, and this is may have just been the way the thought process went. So I'm going to read Matthew chapter 21, verses 12 through 22. It says, Then Jesus went into the temple of God and drove out all of those who bought and sold in the temple, and overturned the tables of the money changers and the seats of those who sold doves. And he said to them, It is written, My house shall be called a house of prayer, but you have made it a den of thieves. Then the blind and the lame came to him in the temple, and he healed them. But when the chief priests and scribes saw the wonderful things that he did, and the children crying out in the temple and saying, Hosanna to the Son of David, they were indignant and said to him, Do you hear what these are saying? And Jesus said to them, Yes, have you never read, Out of the mouth of babes and nursing infants you have perfected praise? Then he left them and went out of the city to Bethany, and he lodged there. Now in the morning, as he returned to the city, he was hungry, and seeing a fig tree by the road, he came to it and found nothing on it but leaves, and said to it, Let no fruit grow on you ever again. Immediately the fig tree withered away. And when the disciples saw it, they marveled, saying, How did the fig tree wither away so soon? So Jesus answered and said to them, Assuredly I say to you, if you have faith and do not doubt, you will not only do what was done to the fig tree, but also if you say to this mountain, Be removed and be cast into the sea, it will be done. And whatever things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive. And that's a lot. uh, it's a lot of different things that we can talk about. And You can go a lot of different ways with it. I'm just going to tell you the way that I'm going with it. I had a guy say one time, I heard it, and I am going to talk a little bit about the cleansing of the temple because I think it's very important. But a lot of my notes are on him cursing the fig tree and the way that it was kind of presented to me, or the way that I heard it being presented one time, and I I liked it and it really stuck with me. So that's what I'm going to share because maybe y'all have not thought of it in that way either. But uh, we'll start with the cleansing the temple where Jesus had entered the temple and he saw what was, supposed to be a house of worship, and it had been turned into pretty much a business mall. There were merchants taking advantage of the travelers who couldn't bring any sacrificial animals with them, and they were charging high prices for these animals. They were, and I don't think the problem was so much that they were selling these animals; it was that they were selling them in the temple, inside the temple there. And so this corrupt use of the temple grounds is what caused Jesus' righteous anger. Uh, he is, and so he rebukes those that are exploiting the worship for profit. Jesus, he flipped over the tables, he chased everyone out, and uh, he's trying to restore the purpose of God's house. And he wants, what Jesus wants is our worship to be real. He wants it to be true. He wants it to be pure and sincere. It's not to be a performance. And so what he's doing there, he's cleaned out the clutter, which for us can be distractions and idols, so we can have that direct relationship with God. So everything that he does, I think we could and should make personal. So and so if you notice any of these distractions or idols in your life, we need to offer them up to God. We need to be asking Him to guide us, to help make the space in our heart for Him and in our life for Him, and get rid of those, to get rid of that clutter and overturn those tables of clutterness. Uh, and I wrote a question. What about this scene made Jesus so angry? Which I think I just answered. But what should make us angry? What should make us have righteous anger? Just something to think about inside of you. I also wanted to point out that it said, after all of this happened here in the temple, is when the leaders start to conspire against him. I think we get more into that tomorrow, but this has happened here. Everybody's still they got a lot still singing Hosanna, save us. I told y'all that yesterday. So uh, I just kind of leads into the things that happen the rest of the week. But also in this passage, he curses a barren fig tree. And like I said, I'm going to give y'all a kind of a way that was kind of how it was presented to me, or how I heard a presentation of it one time, and I liked it. It just has always stuck with me, so I kind of went off of that. Uh, but he curses this barren fig tree, and this can be seen as a symbol of spiritual emptiness or maybe even hypocrisy, and I wrote fruitless faith. More research into about this fig tree, it shows you that this tree wasn't even in season to bear figs. So a question would be, why would Jesus curse it? You know, didn't he already know that it wouldn't have anything on it? It wasn't time for it to have anything on it. Uh, but we know that Jesus doesn't do anything without reason, and a man that liked to teach in parables and just in different ways, I imagine this was a great teaching moment for him, uh, especially with the days that he knows is about to come ahead. Uh, I wrote on my notes here, it says a side note, figs are fruit, and so therefore the trees are considered to be fruit-bearing trees. And so this is where it was presented to me one time. Think of us, Christians, as a fruit tree. We should be bearing fruit, no matter what the season is. So what good is a fruit tree that doesn't bear any fruit? Also, something that was pointed out was that fruit trees, and I got tickled at this because the presentation I was listening to said fruit trees, they don't bear fruit for themselves. You never see an apple tree eat an apple. So an apple tree does not bear an apple for himself. And so another question would be, who is the fruit for? Well, Jesus. We should be bearing fruit for Jesus. I've given you lessons on the fruits of the Spirit before, and those are all ways that those are how we are to bear fruit for the Lord. If you need your refresher, go read Galatians chapter 5. I think it's verses 22 and 23. But another way for us to bear or show our fruit is by knowing that we stem from Jesus. And John 15:5 says, I am the vine, you are the branches. He who abides in me and I in him bears much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. And so our fruit comes from an intimate relationship with Jesus, which is his exact purpose of what he does this week on the cross. And so it's not a long lesson. It was just things that kind of popped in my head, but we need to make sure that we have that relationship, or it all stands for nothing. But just and like I said, nothing long, nothing. These are just short little condensed refresher lessons on the Holy Week. But he cursed the fig tree because it wasn't bearing figs. So it was a fruit tree that had no fruit, and that's what we're called. As Christians, we're called to bear fruit. He gives us places in the Bible that show us how to bear this fruit, what the fruits of the Spirit are, how to go about what we should not be doing. And so also to bear the fruit is also a call for us to try to win souls for the Lord. And I think you need to have that fruit of the Spirit. You need to be able to bear that fruit. That's how you show Jesus to others. And you can take this either way. It can be as a call to win souls for others, or it can just be a call for, maybe it's for you personally, cleaning your own life out a little bit. But like I said, these are not long. I just wanted to, just something that I wanted to share with everybody this week. So I thank y'all for listening to me. I love y'all, and be looking for me sometime tomorrow. I'll try to do the next day and do it justice. I hope y'all have a good night. Thank you for listening.